But what really happens, okay, into a gap is what the market does post the gap. And that is what we focus on as order flow traders, as derivative traders who are tracking the short-term moves of the market. Whenever we see a gap, the most important takeaway for us is how is the market responding to that gap. This is an order flow chart off screen, and this is an order flow of traded volumes, right? Now, there are a few things, okay, we look at when we're looking at this chart. And the first thing, okay, if you are having this chart open, is you're focused, okay, on this 10-bar chord, which is around that 40,000 number. Now, for those, okay, who saw this order flow chart yesterday, and I posted it on X as well, on Twitter as well, this is consistent, okay, this is consistent with the number of yesterday, which was in that region of about -30, -40,000.
But what I want to draw upon over here is the equation between buyers and sellers, or demand and supply. And at every point in time, this equation keeps changing. And because it keeps changing, price moves. And price moves only when demand, price moves up only when demand is greater than supply. Price moves lower when supply is greater than demand. So once we understand this market as a basic math between buyers and sellers, between demand and supply, what we have to understand is how do we track this demand and supply line. And all my years, okay, I have been trading. I have been able to do that, okay, only by what I call an order flow chart.
Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. A quick sound check. Am I audible? Great. So we are here today to discuss how we can make use of the 2-window mode and the 3-window mode. And we also have a 6-window mode available in the Vtrender chart section. So right now, let us start with this 3-window mode, which is on screen right now. And we had shared this bookmark yesterday on Twitter, on X. So how does this help us? So what you see in the 3-window mode is the first part is the VolumeX, Nifty VolumeX. We have spoken about how the VolumeX tells us which of the call and the put volumes are higher and when it is diverging and how we can make a trade of it. The second part is the call option line chart, and the third part is the put option line chart. So what I've done is a quick look at what happened at the open today to explain how you can make use of this 3-window mode. So how is this important? So what does the VolumeX chart tells us? It tells us which of the call or the put is dominant. If the blue line gets over the purple line and starts to diverge, we can look for a long side trade in the call option, and vice versa. So what happened today at the morning at 9:15, we made an open auction. We opened higher and we came down lower. So here we didn't have any clue. Both the put and the call volumes were parallel to each other. Then what happened at this time? This call volume diverged up. So in that you can see the CE also was dropping in the first part of the day, and then we got IS plus IS, and then this second IS did not get activated, and then we got an IB at VWAP. So you see here how the call VolumeX gave this signal, and you got an IB3 in the call 24,800. So when you are seeing this side by side, you know that this is a good trade to get into. At the same time, what did you see in the put? Put gave an IB3, but it did not do much, and then it gave an IS at the same time. So here it is giving you that confirmation. This one chart gave us that confirmation that the long volume, the CE volumes are giving us a swipe higher, and we are getting an IB3 in the call. So this is a very good trade, which we all, in fact, got into. And if you are an option seller, you could have sold this 2500 put at this level of 55 when we got an IS3. So this is how you make use of this three window mode. In one single chart, you get to see what is happening in the option universe, and more so what option you want to trade. You can keep the strike price to that option. So in case you want to change this, because yesterday at the close, I'll just switch this to 25,000 call and 25,000 put. And I'm doing this just to show you, because yesterday at the close, 25,000 was the gamma 0. And today, because of the higher open, it changed. So let me just take you to the open of the 25,000 call, and you can see how this inflow here is telling us that the CE is being written. 25,000 CE actually was written at the open. Why? Because we had a move lower after the open. The higher open got rejected and we are moving down. But then once we got back above VWAP in this signal, this is where the VolumeX, CE VolumeX also gave us that swipe. So you can see how these writers were forced to cover and we made a move higher. So, and the same thing, if you see 25,000 put, you can see right from the open, it got an IS and it continued to move lower. And if we go to the 25,100 put, even that showed us IS signals post the open. So this one chart gives you a three-dimensional view. We can close this info box so that there is more space for the. So here you see how this IS3 call gave you a trade which you could have held on to the close, into the close. The short was at 55 and stop loss, the initial stop loss was I think around 69. You book part and hold rest and you trail it. So this one screen tells you which of the call or the put is giving you a signal and what the VolumeX is doing. So this is a very useful chart which I use it, especially on settlement days. It is all the more beneficial to have this, because in one screen you're getting to see all the three parts, the VolumeX, the call, as well as the put. So if I just take this further, you can see again we got one VolumeX at 1245. So this is how you need to watch this and see wherever you're getting this swipe, match it with the call side and see if you're getting a trade. And same thing, you got this here, the time where you got that, you can see how we have got this dip below VWAP and made this move higher. So this is what you can do whenever you are getting a fresh swipe in the VolumeX. Just see if you're getting a signal in the call, and if you get that, then you can look to take a trade. And because it was settlement today, we even got a swipe in the put VolumeX. So you can see how this VolumeX signal here gave us multiple IS signals in the call, and it gave a move to VWAP in the put. In fact, 25,200 put in gave us a IB3 at VWAP. So, and this is what is most useful of this chart, you can keep changing the strikes using the drop down menu and go to the current strike. For example, we started the day looking at 25 100 put, but now because the strike was higher, so here you can see how this IS3 failed, and the move above VWAP gave us a bounce back. This IS3 did not get triggered, but once we got above this, it went to VWAP, and then at VWAP we got an IB and we went on to hit this 120. So this is how you can make use of this 3-window mode. Have this VolumeX on one for the first part, the call and the put on the second. What strike you want to choose is your wish. Whichever option you are trading in, you can open up that line chart and see. So this is the first one which we wanted to discuss today. So let us come back to the Vtrender Charts homepage and see what are the other multiple window modes we can use. So we are using market profile and order flow as our basis to take trades. So the foremost for understanding the structure, we are using market profile, and then we use order flow we use order flow to know the volumes. So a quick check of first thing what I'll do is I'll show you how we can create the 3-window mode. On the right side, we have these options. All these options. The first one is the one single window. This is 2 window. This is 4 windows. This is 3 columns, and this is the multiple 6-window mode. So what I'm going to do is I'll just recreate the chart which we just saw and analyzed, so that all of us have an idea of how we can create these multiple window charts. So what I need to do is I have to go to this 3-window button. So when I click on that, I'll have 3 windows which load up. So on the first, because these are by default, we get the market profile chart, we'll have to first get into the line chart mode. So you click on this candlestick chart icon. This goes into the line charts. So I'm clicking on all 3. So it's gone into the line charts of Nifty. Nifty is the default instrument which we have. And then the first chart which we want to have is the VolumeX. So we go to the drop down menu, which is these 3 buttons at the bottom. And then we go to the VolumeX chart and click on that. So I'll go with Nifty NTM VolumeX. So here is my first chart, and I can condense this and I can change the time. I'll make it as a 3-minute or a 5-minute so that we can have the entire day's data here. So this is the VolumeX on the first, and second one, it is already, the line chart is already there. I'll quickly move to the call, and this is the 25,000 call which we have, and here I'll put up the 25,200 put. So now I have created the 3-window. What I have to do next is save this. So I just need to go to the right side of the menu again, and you have this option save as. And when I click on the save as, I'll get a title. So I can just save this VolumeX C line P line, and I do a save. So you can see how now this bookmark is now saved, and this is saved in your global bookmarks link. So in the menu, if you go to the global bookmarks, you will find the bookmarks which has been saved over there. So this is our global bookmarks in the menu. If I click on this, I'll have this bookmark saved there. So I don't need to create this again and again every day. I just need to go to the global bookmarks and open the URL, or best we can save this URL. You will get this URL which is saved, and then we can just save this as a bookmark and open this directly. This is the bookmark which we had shared. No, not this one. This is something which I've created now, but the earlier one this one was saved on X yesterday. So Prashant has a question. Yellow line is this, the yellow dotted line is the initial balance high and the initial balance low. You have it on both ends. So that is a basic market profile reference which we have. So we have all those marked in the line charts. We have the VWAP, we have the POC, which is the white bold line, and then we have the initial balance high and initial balance low. So this is how you can create the 3-window mode and save this. So for any reason you don't want the VolumeX, but you want the profile chart, or you want the Nifty candlestick chart, you can even do that. What we need to do, we need to click on Nifty, and we can go to Nifty August Future. So we can even have this as our reference. So whatever combinations you need, you can select them. You can choose the strikes, you can choose the instruments, and you can just click on save, and that instrument gets saved. So this is one. This is how you can create the 3-window mode. So coming back to what are the different modes you can use. So I'll come to the 2 windows. So as I was talking, we use market profile and order flow. So our structure, to understand structure, we use market profile, and to see what the volumes, how the volumes are coming, we use the order flow. So the best 2-window mode you can use is, on one hand, you have the profile chart, which is there on my left, and on this right hand side, you go to the order flow. And in this order flow, I'll select the 30 minutes order flow. So I can click on this GVN. I don't want the global volume to disrupt, so I'll click on. So here you have a neat market profile chart on your left, and the 30-minute order flow on your right. So I can check what is happening volume wise. So today, if I have this mode on, I see that we are trading above previous value, so we are bullish. So, but what happens is we get this big volume at the top, and this becomes an RS, and the POC also shifts to the top. So the morning bullishness, which we took a long trade, stalls when the POC shifts to the top, and we are not able to make range extensions to the upside. So this is how you can make use of this 2-window mode of a market profile and the 30-minute order flow. We can also have different combinations of this. I'll personally show what I have been using, the combinations. So I have spoken about the market profile and 30-minute order flow combination. We can also have the order flow on both sides. The first side order flow would be the 30-minute order flow, and the second side would have the 3-minute order flow. So how does this help us? We have our bias based on the 30 minutes, and we execute trades based on the 3 minutes. So this is a very good combination which I personally use of 30 and 3, and we don't get lost by short-term noise on the 3 minute, because we are following the 30 minutes and we know where the 30-minute references are. So this is very important bookmark for both Nifty as well as Bank Nifty, which I personally use on a daily basis. So 30 minutes and 3 minutes of the order flow. Another combination of 2 windows you can make if you just want to watch the market profile chart of both Bank Nifty and Nifty futures. You can have market profile of Bank Nifty futures on one side and Nifty futures on the other side. So whichever, and this window you can just leave it on one monitor. just to observe market profile was wise what is the auction doing. So it's very clear. So what do we see in market profile? We see what today's auction is doing respect with regard to previous value. So you can see how both of them were above previous value. So the open was to look for upside. So this is one combination of two windows you can use of having the profile chart of both Nifty and Bank Nifty. You can also have the Nifty spot on left and Nifty futures on the right. So permutation combinations are countless as per your comfort, which what you feel as per your trading for your trading style. What are the best instruments you want to have on screen all the time? You can decide on that and have that respective settings. So profile charts is one, and next, as I mentioned, market profile on left and 30-minute on the right. Another combination what I use is, which is very useful on the settlement day, is having the spectrum chart on one window and the spot chart on the other window. So here the left side I am going to go with the Nifty spot chart. And why spot? Because the spectrum range is based on spot levels. So because this is, so I have the TPO chart on the left. So here if I want to go to the spectrum chart, I'll have to first change this to a line chart. And from the line chart, in this option, the three dots which you have, you'll get a drop down. And I'll choose this in NF options NTM OI chain charts. So what does this tell me? This shows me the spectrum range, and I'll go with the 3 minutes so that we have a view of the entire day. And how does this help us? So here you know what the spectrum range is. At any point of time, you are aware about the spectrum. It is given in this note, and you know what would be the levels you need to watch out for. And you can see how 25150 was the gamma reference and how we made a high right at 25150. And if you are watching this, you know, if you're trading in a call option, for example, I personally was trading in the 25,000 call today. The high of that call, not once but 3 times, was right at 150. So you make out that the spectrum range is also giving you the targets. You need to come out of that trade. And I'll show you the order flow chart of the 25,000 call and how after it hit 150, it showed us an RS, which was followed by a couple of IS signals. So immediately 150 got rejected and we even broke below the VWAP, which was at 110 in that. That was actually a good short trade into the close. So because you have the spectrum handy, you know 25150 is a wall, and that wall is showing you an RS plus IS in the call option. So the 25,000 was a nice shot into the close for a retracement lower. So this is one combination, and this works very well on settlement days because you have the spot levels, you know what the spot is doing, and you have the spectrum range. You have the gamma zero, all important gamma zero, which was steady at 25,100 today all day. You can see this gamma zero was at 25,100 all day, and in the afternoon it gave us a shift to 25,150. But immediately that, as I mentioned, 25,000 call 150, it just stalled and gave an RS. So although the gamma zero still is at 25,150, at the close we came back below 2500 to close at 25,083 spot. So that RS plus IS was a good signal, and because you had this spectrum chart open, you know that 25150 was the wall. So this is one combination which I use. A similar combination you can do is in Bank Nifty spot and the spectrum of Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty does not get too much volume since the weekly expiry is taken out. So, but the coming week it will be the monthly expiry, so you can have a similar view in that as well. So what we need to do, Bank Nifty spot and then this spectrum will shift to Bank Nifty options. Oh, I change. And here again, I'll just put up the 3 minutes so this gives us the Q. So here you can see how the gamma 0 was at 56,000 in Bank Nifty. And you can see the high of today in spot was right there. And we could not extend this higher. So this is a combination which gives you very important references, and it will tell you when a level is important. When you're getting an A period selling tail at the gamma 0 level, you know that the buyers are not able to take this out. So that is the reason we got this probe lower into the close in Bank Nifty, and in fact we made new lows into the close. Otherwise it was a bullish chart. We were trading above value, but we hit this wall of 56,000. So similarly, we saw how that 25150 was the wall in Nifty today. So for 56,000 was the wall in Bank Nifty, and having this spot and spectrum together helped us to understand that that wall is not moving. Although we did have a temporary move in this to 56,500, but this is the monthly options. That is the reason you will not, you will keep seeing this fluctuation in this much more than what you see in the weekly option. But now as we enter the next series, which will be the monthly, this chart also will be equally important, because you can get some good trades even in Bank Nifty in the coming week on a daily basis. So this is one combination which I use. I have this open in one screen and I keep revisiting it to see how the spectrum and the spot range is playing out. So another combination which you can have is if you are an aggressive option player and you just want to see the option VolumeX of both Nifty and Bank Nifty. What you need to do first thing is we need to go to the line charts. So for the option related chart, we have to have the line chart to get the option of what we need to do, because these are only the market profile. If you're in a market profile chart, the dotted lines will give you a drop down of the bookmarks which you have saved in market profile. Whereas if you go to the line chart, you will get all line charts which are possible. So here I want the Nifty VolumeX on my left. So I'll select this and I will go with the Bank Nifty VolumeX on my right. So again, this is very useful on expiry days, and I'll just shorten the time frame, although the default time frame of 1 minute is what is recommended in both, but this is giving us a clear picture. So you know here how we got this long side trade in Nifty 1, and then here again that was the second. There was another swipe here, but then into the close we did not get a move higher, but we saw this PE VolumeX. So it is very clearly matching with what we saw throughout the day. And if you see in Bank Nifty, you can see very clearly from the open, the CE VolumeX was higher. Although the distance did not increase, which is why we did not get too much of a move, but there was no reason to look for short side trades in Bank Nifty, at least as per the VolumeX chart. So this is one combination which you can use. There is a bookmark which I have for this, and in one screen I have this constantly open, because this is giving us live data of what the option volumes are doing. So it is definitely helpful in tracking this. And the moment you get a fresh swipe in any of the call or the put VolumeX, immediately I look at the order flow of the call or the put I need to trade and see if any IB signal is coming in it, so that I can take action. And if I get that, then it is a good risk reward setup trade for me. So coming to the next combination which you can have, just like how we have the VolumeX here, you can also track just the call and the put of either Nifty or Bank Nifty. So what do we need to do? We'll again go back to the line charts and we will select just like what we did today, 25,000 call and 25,200 put. And how is this helpful? I'll just condense this to today's auction, and you can easily figure out which of this is above VWAP, which of this is looking good for a long trade, and which of this is telling us not to take any trade. So here, when we get above VWAP, this is a good trade, and the POC was right here, and we have moved higher. Here you get an IS signal, and I was talking to you how at 150 we stalled not one but 3 times today. So when you are getting an IS3 at 150, it is telling you that this is a very important level, and you need to book out. Definitely, it gave us this big swipe lower, first a big probe lower. We went on to test this morning levels, and then we got this good green bar and the negation of a IS3, which took us back above VWAP, and again you see right at this 150 level you got an RS. This star at the top is telling you an RS. When you get a star at the bottom, it tells you an RB, and IS and IBs are colored bars. A pink colored bar is an IS and a yellow colored bar is a IB. So you can see how the call is telling you where you have to take a trade, where you have to come out. And what does the put do? Put showed us IBs. It showed us one IB here and another IB here. But what did it do? Just like how this IS plus IS failed in the call, this IB failed in the put. And once we broke below VWAP, you can see the POC was also right here. This was a very good signal to go short in this put. And this level remains your reference, and you can see how this swipe higher stopped right at that level. So this simple chart gives you a lot of information. You can see where the DPOC is shifting lower. It is time for you to book the shorts from this put. And you can see how this IB3 in the put gave us a move back to the level from where the shorts came in. So this is one more useful two window mode you can use of both the call and the put which you want to trade for the day. And just like the other chart I mentioned, you can keep changing the strike price as per the latest levels where the Nifty or Bank Nifty is trading. And how does this help? This gives you a holistic view of what the call or the put is doing, and if it is a good long side trade or whether it is a good candidate to go short. And you have the M flow, which is also telling you if the option writers are getting stuck or if this option is getting written. So you can see how the green M flow was showing us the 25,000 call was being written in the open, and then this red tells us those writers were forced to cover. VolumeX charts are based on tick data. Although we have the time frame as 1 minute, it is all tick data. The elite version of the charts are all tick data. So open interest is something which the data comes delayed from the exchange itself. So that we have also covered. But all the order flow in the VolumeX is based on tick data. That is the reason we want the VolumeX chart in front of us, because that is giving us the latest information. The open interest will give you a laggard info, but the VolumeX would already have given you a signal. So this is one way of having the two window mode on. There are few more bookmarks which I use. I'll just open up one of them. One is if you're trading options, same thing like what we did in the Nifty market profile plus order flow, you can have the same thing in the options also which you trade, because market profile and order flow concepts work on all instruments. So there is no reason why it will not work on the options. So same thing here. I have the 30-minute on the right and the market profile on the left. This is one combination which I use to know what the bigger time frame references in options are. So using this chart, I knew that 111 in 25,000 call was an important reference. So if I just quickly do a two window mode of the 25,000 call market profile chart on the left and the same order flow on the right. So you can see what I have done here is from the market profile, what I know is this VWAP of 111 from 18th of August, which had a selling tail at the top, is an important reference for this call. And you can see how yesterday and day before stalled just below that VWAP. And today at the open, you see this opening 3-minute chart. You can see how this again was sold, and this POC was right at that level of the 18th VWAP. So 111 was the reference, and above 111 we could have expected some upside. And this is this I could track because I had this combination where I knew in the market profile this was an important reference because sellers had come in, and those sellers had this as their reference. And at the open, the higher open gave us this high swipe above 111, but you can see we did not get any volumes here, and we went on to probe lower. But then if I just take you ahead of what happened in that order flow, you can see how we stalled, we made new lows, and here this was the time where we got above the VWAP with a green bar, and immediately you can see how this was a good signal, and then we took off this 111 with another green bar, and from there we went on to hit that 150 level. So this is the power of combination, using the combination of the market profile and order flow. So you have a precise level that you want to track. Once you see order flow giving you green bars over there, you know you can get into long side trades. And that long side trade held right at this selling tail of that day, which was not a surprise at 150. So you can see how these overlap, and it will give you further confirmation of where you need to book and where you need to hold. So this is one combination which I use, the option market profile on left and the 30-minute order flow on the right. So that gives me important references, and it also tells me what are the levels even for the intraday basis which I need to track. So here you see the 30-minute reference had this 1110 VWAP became, it was showing us change of polarity. So it did break that once, but it gave us a bounce. But this afternoon break in it took it down and by another 35-40 points. So this is why it is important to know what the 30-minute time frame is also doing. So that helps us to get better in taking trades. So this is one combination. The same thing you can do with the puts. And also what we can do on the market profile side is we can have, because in futures we also track the weekly futures. So we can go to the Nifty series, and we need to go to this weekly series, and we can have the weekly series and see what we are doing compared to the weekly series. So this is previous week settlement, and you can see how the gap up ensured that we are above previous week value and range. So what we are doing this week, we can see here, today we have completed the current week settlement. So end of the day, this will get combined with this. So we will have a new weekly chart. And because this week was a buy side reference, the VWAP of this weekly series would be an important level to track, not just for tomorrow, but also for the expiry week, the monthly expiry week, which is coming up. So this is one way of using this. We can also have straddle charts along with the line chart of the straddle. If you are short options, I just quickly go to the option table and run through how we can have a straddle chart and the line chart of that straddle in a 2-window mode. So we will take the 25-100, which was the gamma 0 today. So if I click on this, I get the straddle chart. I can quickly go to this 2-window mode. So here I have the profile, which is telling me what it is doing with respect to previous value. And here I will have this line chart, which tells me how this straddle is moving through the day. So as Shai had mentioned, gamma density and convexity both were pointing to 2500. So this was a very good straddle to short at the open. So from 100 levels, we could take this down to 20 levels. So here you can see how this has been below VWAP. The POC has been shifting lower, and at no point of time it was able to sustain below VWAP. And the market profile is showing us a range extension to the downside. So it's forming a trend down profile. So with every TPO high, we can hold on to this straddle. And yes, you will have to book out. You don't need to wait for this to go to zero. You get from 100 to 80, 100 to 20, 80 points is good enough for a just laid back trade, and you just come out of it. So this is one combination which you need to use when you are short straddle, so that you are aware about what is happening. The inflow is showing green, that means writing is happening, and at any point of time it gets above VWAP, which it did not today. You will have to see if the green inflow is more than the red, the red inflow is more. That is telling you that the writers are getting out of this. But that never happened. Even this swipe in the afternoon stalled right at the VWAP, and then it came back to close at 20. So this is one 2-window mode combination which you can use very extensively if you are an option seller and if you are trading a strangle sell or a straddle sell. So this is the part of the 2 windows. And coming to the other 3-window mode, as I mentioned, you can have the futures, call, and the put. We also have the gamma spectrum, which you can use in a 2-window mode. I'll just quickly open up that bookmark. All the bookmarks to this combination have been shared, and I've also shown you how you can use them. So what we have here is a gamma exposure chart on the left and the spectrum chart on the right. So this is again similar to what we were seeing, the spot and the spectrum, but here it is telling you, giving you the data, and you can see how both of them were pointed to 2500 most of the time all day. So that was telling you that that is going to be a magnet, and there is a very good chance of spot closing around the 2500 mark. So this is one combination. The same thing you can use for dual gamma exposure. You can have one as the start of the day and the other one as the latest one, and you can see from the start how it has changed and how it is changing. So coming now to the last part, which is the 6-window mode. How will the 6-window mode help, and what do we do in the 6-window mode? So I'll just take up a new chart for this so that So 6 window mode, what we can do is you click on the 6 window mode. Yes, definitely you will need to have a bigger size monitor for that. But once you do it, you can, what you want to see on this 6 window mode is the monthly options. In Nifty, for example, we have closed at 25,083. So I'll have 24,800 call, the monthly one, and I'll have the 30-minute order flow over here. And I'll just increase this to 4. And we don't need this live window, and we don't need the GV also. So I'll have the 24,800, then the 25,000 of monthly, which is in the money. And 25,200, sorry, 25,100, which is at the money. So I have this 3 monthly options order flow chart, and we can track what is happening on the 30 minutes on them. So if on any day, if we are bullish, we will find IB signals in this. And if we are bearish, we will find IS signals. So when you get an IB or an IS on 30 minutes, you can see how this 25,000 call had an IS 30, but it did not get activated. So this you can use for tomorrow. If we stay below this 190 tomorrow, then we can expect Nifty to give us some correction. So this is what you can do. We have a 6 window mode. The bookmark has been shared. Same thing in the puts. So you can also see what is happening on the 30 minutes. And as I mentioned, 30 minutes is for our bias. So once you form the bias, you know the monthly options is bullish or bearish. Accordingly, you can look to trade that instrument on the weekly time frame also. And you see them on the shorter time frame and look to get the trades entries in shorter time frame so that you can run the bigger move also. So that is it for today, guys. We have already extended the time which we had for this, but I hope this was helpful in understanding how we can make use of this wonderful feature of using the multi-window modes. The 2-window mode is the best used one. 3-window is also very good, and the 6-window is more for a holistic view of what is happening in the options universe on the monthly time frame. So if you are watching this, you don't need to watch the 30-minute order flow on all the time, but once in a while you just see what's happening on the monthly options. And if you get an IS 30 or an IB 30, you know that the bias is now changing from balance. You could get into a zone of imbalance. So, and this is pure visualization power, which will help you to trade better and get better at taking references and make use of them while trading. So thank you guys for joining in. That is it from my side for today. And let's hope we can make use of these. And any feedback, any queries you have, you can get in touch with us. You can message me on X. My ID is at Uttam Goel. You can also mail us at support@vtrender.com. So signing off for today, guys, and have a great evening, all of you.